Could the Golden State Warriors be on the verge of a blockbuster move? Rumors are swirling about a potential trade that could bring a former Defensive Player of the Year into the mix. But at what cost? Is it time for the Warriors to part ways with one of their rising stars? Stay tuned as we dive into the latest speculation. This could change the trajectory of our season. If you want to stay updated on all things Warriors, make sure to subscribe and like this video. The Golden State Warriors are currently riding high, sitting at the top of the Western Conference with a top 5 defense in the NBA. It's exciting times for us fans, but as we know, the front office is always looking ahead, trying to maintain this momentum. Recently, Colin Keane from Sporting News suggested a controversial trade target for the Warriors: former Defensive Player of the Year, Marcus Smart. Now let's break this down. The proposed deal would see the Warriors sending De'Anthony Melton and Jonathan Kuminga's expiring contracts to the Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for Smart, along with a first-round pick in 2028. On the surface, it sounds intriguing. Smart is a proven defender and has improved as a perimeter scorer, not to mention his significant playoff experience. But here's where it gets tricky. Kuminga is blossoming into a star. He's shown flashes of brilliance this season, and parting with him could come back to haunt us if he continues to develop. I mean, can you imagine a scenario where we give up Kuminga and he turns into an all-star? That's a tough pill to swallow. Sure, Smart would bolster our defense even further, but are we really willing to sacrifice our future for a player who may not fit perfectly into our timeline? It feels a bit redundant when we already have a solid defensive backcourt. Moreover, the Warriors have been navigating 2 timelines for years now, balancing the immediate championship window with the development of young talent. If the front office believes that they can sustain this success without moving Kuminga, I think that's the right call. Keeping him around allows us to maintain flexibility moving forward, especially if he continues to progress as we hope. On another note, there's been some buzz about a potential blockbuster deal involving Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat. Zach Buckley from Bleacher Report proposed a trade that could send Brandon Podziemski, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Melton, and a first-round pick to Miami in exchange for Butler and Kevin Love. That's a massive deal that would undoubtedly shake things up for us. But let's be real. Butler is a superstar, and he brings a competitive edge that we've seen propel teams deep into the playoffs. If the Warriors are serious about making a push for another title while Curry is still at his peak, Butler could be the co-star we need. However, that trade would significantly deplete our depth, particularly on the wing, which is concerning. If Melton's injury impacts this deal, it adds another layer of complexity. We can't afford to lose more depth, especially given the current state of the roster. And while Love's skill set fits well with our style of play, we have to ask ourselves, is this the right move? There's a lot at stake here, and while I can see the allure of bringing in a player like Butler, I'm left feeling a bit uneasy about what it might cost us. You believe this is the best way forward? I'm honestly torn. These discussions about potential trades always stir up emotions among us fans. It's thrilling to think about the possibilities, but it's also nerve-wracking. What happens if we pull the trigger and it doesn't pan out? And you, what do you think? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Are you on board with pursuing Marcus Smart or going all in for Jimmy Butler? What's your take on the state of the team and our championship aspirations? The Golden State Warriors are making headlines once again with a potential trade that could add a former Defensive Player of the Year to their roster. As the team sits atop the Western Conference with a solid 12-4 record, fans are buzzing about how this move could further enhance our championship aspirations. The proposed trade would see the Warriors acquire Marcus Smart from the Memphis Grizzlies in exchange for Gary Payton II, De'Anthony Melton, and a handful of future second-round picks. Now let's break this down. On the one hand, we're sending out some valuable assets, especially considering the potential of those second-round picks. But when you think about what Marcus Smart brings to the table, his defensive prowess, his leadership, This could be the kind of move that solidifies our status as serious contenders. Sure, we've had a great start to the season, but adding a player like Smart could elevate our defense to another level. Imagine the combination of Smart and Draymond Green on the floor together. That's a nightmare for opposing offenses. Marcus is averaging around 7.4 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 3.7 assists this season. But his box score doesn't tell the full story. He's not just another guy who can put the ball in the basket. He's a game changer on defense. He can guard the best perimeter player every night, allowing Draymond to roam freely and anticipate plays. This is critical, especially as we aim for deep playoff runs. But here's the thing. While I believe Smart could be a great fit, we have to acknowledge the risks. Will his lack of offensive firepower hurt us? We've seen Buddy Hield struggle with consistency, so it's crucial that Smart can at least hit open shots when the defense collapses. However, I believe Steve Kerr has the tools to work with this. Alternating between Smart and Hield gives us flexibility to either ramp up the defense or unleash our offensive firepower, depending on matchups. Now, turning to the Grizzlies, they're in a peculiar spot. They've had their fair share of injuries and are looking to pivot to a new core around their young stars, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane, and Ja Morant. Acquiring Payton and Melton, both of whom can provide financial flexibility and valuable minutes, makes sense for them. They're not in a position to rely on Smart, especially with his hefty contract. This trade could allow them to rebuild without the pressure of Smart's $20.6 million looming over them. As a Warriors fan, I'm both excited and a bit apprehensive about this potential deal. Adding Smart could energize our defense and make us a more formidable opponent in the playoffs. But at what cost? Are we sacrificing too much in terms of future assets? You believe this was the best decision? I'm honestly torn. What does this mean for our chances this season? Well, if this trade goes through, I think it cements our position as a top-tier team in the league. Smart's intensity and defensive skill set could be exactly what we need to make a serious playoff push. He's a veteran presence who can mentor our younger guys like Brandon Podziemski and instill a defensive mindset that could carry us far into the postseason. I want to hear from you, Warriors fans. What do you think about this proposed trade? Are you excited about the addition of Marcus Smart? Or do you think we should hold on to our assets? I'm eager to know your thoughts, so drop your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget, if you enjoy these updates and discussions, hit that like button, share this video with your fellow fans, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any essential news about our beloved Warriors. Make sure to activate the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest developments. Your support means the world as we navigate this thrilling NBA season together.